Ravi was a quiet man who worked in a small repair shop on Mars Colony 7. The shop stood near the edge of the colony dome, far from the busy trade zone. Every day, Ravi repaired broken mining bots and rusty hover bikes. He liked machines because they made sense. They did not lie. They did not change suddenly. People were different one evening, while checking his scanner for damaged signals outside the colony. He noticed something strange. A ship had crashed in the desert area just 5 miles from the dome. The signal was weak, but active. It was not registered with the colony port. That meant it was either a private ship or something not from Earth. Ravi hesitated. He had no reason to go, but something inside pushed him. Maybe it was boredom. Maybe it was curiosity. He packed a small toolkit, grabbed his scanner, and set off on his old rover as he drove through the red dust. The light from Mars's twin moons cast long shadows over the land. After 30 minutes, he found the crash site. The ship was small and shaped like a silver arrowhead. It had alien symbols carved into its side. Smoke rose from one of the engines as Ravi climbed out of his rover and walked toward the ship. The air was thin, but his suit kept him steady. He tapped the hull with a wrench. The metal felt warm. He moved to the hatch and saw that it was partly open. Took a deep breath and pulled it wider inside. The light flickered. Panels sparked. Something moved in the shadows. He raised his wrench, just in case. Then a voice spoke. Soft and shaking, "Please do not hurt me." Ravi blinked. Sitting near the corner was a girl, but she was not like any human he had seen. Her skin was silver blue. Her hair looked like fine metal strands, and her eyes glowed a soft purplish wore a light armor suit that was cracked in places. Her left arm was bleeding a thick blue liquid. She looked weak and afraid. "I need help," she said. "They are coming. Please hide me." Ravi looked around. There was no one else, just this strange girl and her broken ship. He wanted to ask questions, but the fear in her voice stopped him. He nodded slowly and stepped inside. "Can you walk?" She stood with effort. "Yes." But not for long. He helped her to the rover and drove back toward the colony. On the way, she kept checking the sky. "My name is Mira," she said. "I am from the Dravik Empire." Ravi had heard of the Dravik. They were powerful. Their ships flew faster than light. Their weapons could cut through planets. People on Earth feared them. "You are a soldier." He escaped. Shook her head. "No, I am a princess. I ran away. They want me back, or dead." Ravi stared at her. A princess in his rover, bleeding, on Mars. Nothing about this day felt real. When they reached his shop, he locked the door and closed the metal shutters. He made her sit on the workbench and brought a first aid kit. He didn't know if it would work on her, but he treated as he cleaned her wound. She reached into her belt and pulled out a small glowing object. It looked like a tiny crystal with strange patterns. She placed it in his hand. "What is this?" He asked. "It is my crest," she said. "You are my protector now." The bond is made. Ravi felt a warm pulse from the crystal. It melted into his skin and disappeared. He stood up quickly. "Wait, I did not agree to this. You saved me." Mira said, "That is enough. Now I am under your protection by ancient law, and you are under mine." Before he could respond, an alarm beeped on his wall screen. A fleet had entered Mars orbit, unknown ships. One of them was broadcasting a message to the colony. They were looking for a runaway criminal. They described her appearance. Mira looked at Ravi with fear. "They found me." Ravi's mind raced. He had no reason to fight an alien empire. He was just a mechanic. But something in him would not let him turn her over. Hope in his hidden storage room, and pulled out a long-range scanner and a compact travel pack. He looked at Mira. "Can you fly?" She nodded. "Then we need to leave." Now they ran through the back tunnel that led to the old cargo port. Few people used it anymore. Most traffic came through the main gates. Ravi's ship was old but still worked. A heavy cargo hauler with rust on the sides, but a strong engine. Mira helped him power it up. Her hands moved fast, pressing buttons he didn't recognize as they lifted off. Ravi looked out the window. Warships were landing near the colony. Soldiers in black armor marched out. Colony alarms started to scream. Ravi felt his chest tighten. He had just wanted a quiet life, but now he was flying through space with a silver-skinned princess and a glowing mark on his hand. That made him her protector. Myra sat beside him, breathing slowly. "They will not stop," she said. "They will hunt you too. You are part of this." Now Ravi looked at the stars ahead. He did not know where they were going. He only knew one thing had made a choice, and he would not run from it, not yet. The stars outside the ship glowed faintly as Ravi pushed the engine harder. Mira sat beside him, watching the scanner with sharp eyes. Her silver-blue face looked calm, but Ravi could feel her tension. Behind them, the dark shapes of enemy ships grew smaller. They had escaped the first wave. But Mira said more were coming. Ravi's cargo ship was built for hauling ore, not for running from warships. It was slow and heavy. The only reason they got away was because Mira had disabled the local tracking grid before they lifted off. She had done it in less than 10 seconds. Using a small round device no bigger than a coin. "Where are we going?" Ravi asked as he adjusted the thruster. Myra leaned closer to the navigation screen. "There is a belt of asteroids near Jupiter. Inside it, there is a hidden place. My people do not go there. It is where some peaceful species live. They can help us hide." Ravi raised an eyebrow. "You trust them?" "I trust them more than the Empire," Mira said, her voice firm. Ravi nodded. He had no better idea. He had never left Mars orbit before. He had never even flown this ship far. Now, he was heading into deep space with a princess whose own army wanted her dead. Looked at his hand. The crest had melted into the skin. A faint mark, like a glowing circle, stayed on the back of his palm. It was not painful, but it felt warm. He could sense something new inside him, like a thread linking him to Mira. "What does this crest mean?" He escaped. Myra looked at him, then away. "In my world, the crest marks someone as a protector. When one holds the crest, they become the shield of the royal blood. They cannot be harmed while the protector lives. And the protector has the right to speak before any court, even against the emperor." Ravi let out a slow breath. "I'm just a mechanic. I fix broken machines. I don't fight armies." Mira's eyes met his. "Machines can be fixed. People can learn. You did not turn me away when you could have." That means more than training. The words stuck with Ravi. He had acted on instinct. Now that he had time to think, fear started to grow. He had made enemies far greater than he could understand soonly. A red light flashed on the control panel. "Tracking signal," Mira said quickly. "They are following us. Not from Mars, from deep space." "It must be Velcor." "Who is Velcor?" Ravi asked. "General of the Dravik elite force. He leads the royal guard. He has been loyal to the emperor since before I was born. If he catches us, he will not listen to reason." Ravi tightened his grip on the controls. He could feel the weight of what Mira had brought with her. This was not just about escape. This was about stopping something bigger. Guided the ship toward a dark patch of space where the stars seemed to flicker. Mira pressed a button and the outside lights turned off. They moved quietly through the blackness, hoping the enemy scanners would not find them inside the ship. Mira showed Ravi how to read the alien tracking system. She also helped him understand the navigation grid. She spoke clearly and slowly, teaching him the symbols one by one. "You learn fast," she said. "I fix things. This is just a different kind of tool." Ravi replied. They reached the edge of the asteroid belt after 6 hours of silent flight. Floating rocks and icy chunks drifted around them. Mira guided the ship carefully between them. She tapped a series of commands on the screen and sent out a signal. A moment later, a new signal replied. It came from deep inside the belt. Mira smiled. "They accepted our request. They are opening a path." A group of small lights appeared in the distance. They moved through the asteroids like fish through water. These were drones. Guiding them as they followed the lights, Ravi looked out at the strange beauty of space. He had never seen anything like this before. It was quiet, but full of motion. He felt small, yet part of something much larger. They reached a hidden station built into a massive rock. The structure was not human-made. Its shape was curved and smooth, with glowing lines that pulsed like veins. A voice came through the speaker. It was soft but strong. "Welcome, Mira of the Dravik. We have seen your message. We offer you shelter, but you must explain your actions." Mira bowed her head toward the screen. "Thank you. I will answer all questions, This is Ravi. He is my protector. He has saved my life." The gate opened. The ship moved inside slowly. Once they landed, a group of beings waited at the dock. They were tall and thin, with skin like tree bark and eyes that shimmered like crystalline. Stepped forward. "You carry danger with you, Princess. Why should we risk war for your safety?" Mira stepped down and spoke calmly. "Because I no longer believe in the war. I believe in peace. And I believe this human can help bring that peace." Ravi followed her. He stood beside her without speaking. He was not sure what to say, but he stood straight. Alien looked at him for a long moment, then gave a small nod. "We will listen, but you must remain hidden while you are here. Others may not agree with your choice." They led Ravi and Mira into the station. It was filled with strange sounds and lights. Creatures from many worlds walked the halls. Some stared. Some ignored them. Ravi was shown a small room to rest. Mira came to him later with food. "You did well," she said, handing him a tray. "I didn't say anything." Ravi replied, "Sometimes presence is enough." She answered. They sat quietly. For a moment, everything was still, but they both knew it would not last. Velcor would not stop. The Empire would not rest. The chase had only begun. Ravi leaned back and looked at the ceiling. He still could not believe this was real. A few days ago, he had been fixing old bots. Now he was protector to an alien princess, hiding in a secret station beyond the edge of the solar system, and he knew deep inside that he could not go back. The hidden station inside the asteroid belt became their shelter for many days. Ravi and Mira stayed out of sight, moving only when guided by the silent watchers of the station. These beings were called Orin. They did not speak loudly and rarely showed emotion, but they honored peace and wisdom. They did not fear the Dravic Empire, but they did not want war. Thervi spent his days learning. Mira showed him how alien technology worked. She explained the language of stars used by her people to travel great distances. Ravi listened carefully. His hands were used to wires and metal. Now he was learning to fix machines that worked with light and energy. At night, he lay on his small bed, staring at the glowing ceiling. He missed the dusty smell of his workshop and the quiet hum of bots. But he also felt something new, a pull towards something greater, a reason to stand in evening. Mira entered the room with a new look in her eyes. She had removed the broken parts of her armor and wore a long cloak given by the Orin. Her arm had healed with their help, and her glow was brighter. "There's a planet," she said. "It is not far." The Orin said, "We should go there. It is full of life and strong in energy. They believe we can learn more there, and it is hidden from the eyes of the Empire." Ravi stood up and packed his tools. "Then we should go." They left the station. In silence, the Orin gave them a small shuttle, light and fast, made from a smooth silver material that seemed to change color with every move. Mira piloted the ship with grace. Her hands moved over the controls with ease. Ravi sat beside her, studying the new systems. As they flew toward the planet, Mira told him more about her world. She spoke of cities floating in the clouds, of towers made of crystal, and people who believed they were born to rule. But she also spoke of the pain hidden under that pride. Soldiers trained from birth, children separated from family. Peace was seen as weakness. "I used to believe it too," she said, "until I visited Earth in secret. I saw humans laugh and cry without shame. I saw strength in their kindness. That is when I began to question everything." Ravi nodded. He remembered his simple life, fixing machines, helping others when he could, drinking sweet tea on cold nights. He never thought it was special, but now it seemed his way of living had touched someone far from his world. They reached the planet by dawn. It floated alone in a quiet pocket of space. Its surface was covered with green forests, deep lakes, and tall mountains. The air was clean. The scanners showed no machines, no weapons, no cities. Only naturally. As they landed, the wind moved gently across the trees. Strange birds with glowing wings flew overhead. The ground felt soft and warm. Ravi and Mira walked together through the forest. The air carried a sound like music. Trees whispered. Small animals peeked from behind leaves. Myra pointed to a tall stone in the middle of a clearing. It had markings. On it, old and glowing faintly. This place is ancient, she said. The Orn said it holds memory. Not memory like a machine, but memory of thought, of feeling. We can learn from it. They placed their hands on the stone. A wave of warmth passed through them. Ravi saw flashes of images in his mind, people from long ago, wars, peace talks, tears, smiles, then a feeling of calm, like a soft voice saying, "Choose the better path." Mira stepped back slowly. Her eyes were wet. Ravi did not speak. He did not need to. Something inside had changed. They spent the next few days exploring. Mira trained Ravi in how to sense energy and read movements. He was not fast, but he learned with care. In return, Ravi taught her how to use simple tools, how to take apart a device and fix it with little own night. They sat by a lake under two moons. The water glowed faintly. Mira looked at Ravi. "I chose to run because I was afraid. But now I see something else. Running brought me here, to truth. And to you." Ravi looked into the water. He saw his reflection and hers side by side. He was still just a man from Mars, but now he carried something more. Hope. Their peace ended. The next morning, while Mira was gathering herbs near the edge of the forest, Ravi stayed behind to fix a broken drone. A sharp sound rang out, like thunder cracking the air. Ravi ran toward the noise. He found Mira standing in front of a tree, holding a short blade. Across from her stood a tall figure in black armor with red lines glowing across it. The helmet was sharp, the chest wide, the hands holding twin bladders. Ravi knew this was not a beast from the forest. This was a hunter. Mira shouted, "Run back to the ship," but Ravi stayed. He picked up a long branch and held it firm. He did not know how to fight, but he would not leave her. The armored figure attacked fast. Mira moved to block. Her blade met the enemy's with sparks. They danced across the grass, quick and deadly. Ravi used the moment to move behind the enemy. He saw a panel on the back of the armor, remembering what Mira taught him about weak points. He aimed a sharp stone and hit the panel hard. The armor sparked. The hunter staggered. Mira struck with full force and knocked the figure down. The helmet broke open. Inside was a face twisted in anger. "He is one of Velker's men," she said. "They have found us again." They tied the hunter to a tree and searched him. He carried a beacon, a signal device. Scifi crushed it with a rock. Mira looked at the sky. "We must leave. This planet is no longer safe." As they returned to the ship, Ravi felt a deep shift inside. He was no longer just protecting Mira. He was standing for something more, something worth fighting for, and he knew the enemy was getting closer. Ravi and Mira returned to the ship with fast steps. The sky over the hidden planet was calm, but the silence now felt different. It was no longer peaceful. It was warning them. They had been found again. The hunter they left behind would not stay tied for long. Mira guessed more would follow. Velkor would never send just one scout. He would send waves. That meant no more rest, no more hiding inside the shuttle. Ravi ran checks on the engines while Mira set the coordinates for their next flight. She chose a station near Jupiter. It was built by traders, not by any empire. Ships from many species passed through. The Orn had told her about it. It was a place where one could disappear in the crowd as the ship lifted off. Mira looked at Ravi. His face was marked with dust and sweat. He had not slept well for days, but his eyes were sharp. "You could leave now," she said softly. "I never wanted to bring danger to your life." Ravi shook his head. "It's my life. I choose what to do with it. You are not alone in this." Mira smiled a little and turned back to the screen they traveled in. Silence through the space between planets. Time passed slowly. Ravi watched the stars move. He had never thought much about space before. Now he felt part of Vitas. They approached the trader station. Mira sent a signal using a secret channel. Someone had answered her old message from long ago. A person who once served in her father's palace. He said he still believed in her. He promised help and safe landing. Ravi was not sure. Something felt strange. The message had come too fast. But Mira trusted the name. It was someone she had known since childhood. His name was Select. Station was large. It looked like a broken ring with lights across its edges. Ships floated in and out like insects flying through a nest. Inside, loud voices and strange smells filled the air. Traders shouted. Machines buzzed. and creatures of all kinds walked the steel floor. Smyra wore a long coat with a hood. Ravi kept his tool pack close, hiding a small energy stick just in case. They followed a path through the lower levels to a quiet room where Talek waited. He stood tall with silver armor and short dark hair. His eyes lit up when he saw Mira. "You are safe," Talek said, stepping forward. "I feared the worst." Mira smiled and gave him a quick hug. "It is good to see you. I need your help." "We are running out of time." Talek looked at Ravi with a sharp glance. "Is he your protector?" "Yes. His name is Ravi. He has saved me more than once." Ravi nodded politely. Talek nodded back, but his eyes stayed cold. Talek guided them to a quiet chamber behind a locked door. He gave them food and clean water. The room was small but safe. For a moment, it felt like a good place, but something felt off to Ravi. The walls had hidden wires. The lights flickered like old tech, yet Talek wore new armor. Ravi opened a panel while Mira rested and found a tracker device near the ceiling and said nothing yet. He waited. Later that night, Talek entered with a message disk. He showed a map of nearby space and said Velker's fleet was moving toward the asteroid belt. "They still believe Mira was hiding there." "You have time," Talek said, "but not much. I can get you a new ship, faster, hidden ID codes, but I need something in return. The crest, just for a scan. Nothing more." Mira looked unsure. "Why? Do you need that?" "It will prove you are still alive," Talek said. "I will send the data to those who still follow you. We must build support." Ravi stood up slowly. "Or it will tell Velkor exactly where we are." Talek turned. "I gave you shelter. You think I would betray her?" Ravi stared at him. "I think the tracker you hid in this room is already sending a signal. You talk about help, but you hide behind smooth words. That's how liars speak." Mira stepped between them. "Enough. Talek, is it true?" Talek's face changed. His voice became cold. "I did not want to hurt you, but I must follow the Empire. Your ideas are dangerous. They break order. Peace cannot come from the weak. Only strength keeps the stars in line." Ravi moved first. He grabbed the table and threw it at Talek. The armored man blocked it with ease, but that gave Ravi a second to pull Mira back. Talek reached for his blade, but Mira kicked his arm and sent the weapon flying. They fought in the tight space, moving fast. Talek was stronger, but Mira was quick. Ravi picked up a pipe and struck Talek's knee. The man stumbled. Mira delivered a final blow that sent Talek crashing into the wall. He lay still. They grabbed their packs and ran through the station halls. Alarms began to ring. Security bots moved toward them. Ravi threw a flash device and pulled Mira through a side tunnel. They reached the docking area. Their shuttle was still there. Untouched, Ravi jumped into the pilot's seat while Mira sealed the hatch. Blasts hit the outer hull as they launched, but the ship held as they left the station behind. Mira sat beside Ravi with her head low. "He was like a brother once," she said. "I thought he would understand." Ravi did not know what to say. Trust was a heavy thing. When it breaks, it hurts deeply. "You still have me," he said. Simplish nodded and looked at the stars ahead. "We can't keep running forever," she said. "We need allies. We need someone who will listen. Earth must hear the truth." Ravi nodded. "Then we go to Earth." The stars of the galaxy stretched out in every direction as Ravi and Mira flew through the dark. Their ship was damaged from the escape, but it still moved. Sparks sometimes flew from the panel. The left wing had deep burns. The shield system was weak, but it was enough to keep going. Inside the ship, the air was tense. Mira sat near the window, looking at the stars. She had not spoken much since they left the trader station. The betrayal by Talek had hurt her deeply. Ravi could see it in her eyes. She was thinking about her past, her people, and the hard road. Ahead, Ravi finished fixing the broken navigation screen and joined her. "We will reach Earth in 5 hours. He said. Mira nodded without turning. "Do you think they will listen?" "They have to," Ravi said. "You're trying to stop a war. You're giving them a chance to be ready, and they won't ignore that." Mira looked at him now. "They might be afraid. The Dravik Empire is strong. They may not want to stand against it." Ravi leaned back in his seat. "Then they need to see what kind of strength really matters. Not ships, not weapons, but courage. You've already shown more courage than anyone I've met, Mira. Gave a small smile. It was brief, but it gave Ravi hope when they neared Earth space. Warning signals flashed on the screen. A defense satellite had picked up their ship. Earth's military system locked on them and sent a strong voice message. Unknown ship. You are entering restricted space. Identify yourself or be fired upon. Ravi quickly sent a signal back. My name is Ravi, human citizen from Mars Colony 7. I am traveling with a guest who brings urgent news for Earth Command. We request safe passage. There was a pause. Then another message came. This time softer. Send identity proof and reason for entry. Mira stepped forward. She activated a small glowing crystal and spoke. I am Mira, daughter of the Dravik High House. I carry knowledge of an attack that may reach Earth. I come in peace and seek only to speak. The signal was silent for a long time, then finally a reply came. You are ordered to dock at Station 9 above Earth. The security team will meet you. Any wrong move will result in force. The ship changed course and followed the path shown by the signal. The Earth grew larger on the screen. Blue oceans, green lands, white clouds. It looked calm from space, but Ravi knew what could be coming when they reached Station 9. Soldiers in gray armor surrounded the landing zone. Ravi and Mira stepped out slowly. They held no weapons. Mira kept her hood down, showing her alien face clearly. People gasped. Some raised their guns, but the commander raised a hand. Stand down, he said, then stepped forward. I am Commander Harlan. You say you have a message for Earth? Yes, Mira said, her voice strong. Let me speak to your leaders. The Dravik Empire is planning expansion. Earth is not safe. You must prepare. Commander Harlan studied her for a moment. Come with me. They were led through bright halls and tall doors. Every person they passed looked at Mira with wide eyes. Some whispered, some stared with fear, but none attacked. Inside the central chamber, Earth's council sat behind a long table. They wore simple suits, but their eyes were sharp. Behind them, screens showed maps of space, troop movements, and news feeds. Speak, said a woman at the center. We are listening. Mira stepped forward. She placed a small cube on the table. It opened and showed a moving image of Velker's fleet. It showed the order given to chase her. It showed a plan that included Earth as a target. My people believe Earth is weak, easy to take. They do not understand humans. I left them because I believe Earth can be more than a target. It can be a voice for peace. But you must know what is coming. The room was quiet. Then a man near the end spoke. You ran from your people. Why should we trust you? Mira did not answer right away. Then she said, I gave my crest to a human. That bond is not just words. It is law in my world. My life is his to protect. And I trust him more than any who sat in my father's court. All eyes turned to Ravi. He stepped forward. Nervous but calm. I'm just a mechanic. I didn't ask for this, but I've seen what she gave up. I saw what she stands for. She didn't run to save herself. She ran to stop others from dying. I believe her. You should. So there was silence. Then the head councilwoman stood. Thank you. We will consider what you have shown us. You will stay here under watch until we decide. Ravi and Mira were led to a small room with clean beds and food. It was not a prison, but it was not free either. They waited there for hours. Finally, the door opened. Commander Harlan entered. The council has agreed to listen more. A few officers will join you. You are to meet with trusted allies of Earth. They want to hear what you have to say. Mira stood up. Thank you. Harlan looked at Ravi. And you have done something few would dare. You stood with someone the galaxy fears. That takes strength. Ravi simply nodded. He did not need praise. He just wanted to keep moving. They were given a new ship, stronger and faster. A small crew joined them, led by a young pilot named Lena. She spoke little, but her eyes were sharp and loyal. Together, they left Station 9. Their next stop was the moon base, where more leaders from different human colonies would gather. There, Mira would speak again as they flew. Mira stood beside Ravi in the control room. You were brave, she said. Even when they questioned me, you didn't step back. I told you, Ravi said. You're not alone. Mira looked out at the stars again. For the first time in a while, she felt something close to hope, but they both knew it was not over. Velkor was still searching. His fleet was still growing. And now Earth was in the center of it. Mira touched the crest mark on Ravi's hand. Are you ready for what comes next? Ravi looked at her and smiled. I was born ready. I just didn't know it. The rings of Saturn stretched endlessly before Ravi's eyes as their new ship approached the dense field of ice and rock. Mira stood beside him, watching the scanners carefully. The Dravik fleet was closing in fast. Velker's ships were powerful and ruthless. They would not stop until they captured Mira, and her protector Avi felt the weight of the moment. This was no longer just a fight to run or hide. It was a battle for survival, for peace, for the chance to change the course of the galaxy. Are you ready? Mira asked, her voice steady but calm. Ravi nodded. I have to be. For you, for Earth, for everyone who believes in a better future. They slipped their ship deeper into the rings, using the shadows of massive ice chunks to hide from the enemy scanners. Ravi's hands moved over the controls with new confidence. Mira guided him, pointing out hidden dangers, and passed through the maze of debris. Suddenly, the alarms blared. A Dravik scout ship appeared ahead, its weapons locking on them. Ravi fired the ship's defense system. A burst of energy shot forward, striking the scout. The enemy ship shuddered and exploded in a flash of light. Mira smiled briefly. Good shot, but there was no time to rest. More ships appeared, faster and stronger. Velker's fleet was coming in full force. Ravi called to the crew. Prepare for battle. Use the environment. Don't let them surround us. They launched drones into the rings. The small machines zipped between the rocks, scouting for enemy movements. Ravi watched the tactical map grow crowded with red dots, enemy fighters, and green dots, their own ship's crew. Worked as one. Lena piloted their ship with skill, dodging blasts and weaving through the ice. Mira sent messages to other hidden allies, calling for support. Ravi remembered what Mira had taught him about the power of simple things. He looked around the rings and saw the giant ice chunks. He gave an order. Use the ice. We can trap their fighters with gravity fields around the big chunks, force them to crash or slow down. The crew quickly set the plan in motion. Gravity generators hummed. Huge chunks of ice began to move slowly but surely, creating barriers and traps. Enemy ships tried to break through, but many collided with the ice or were caught in the shifting fields. Explosions lit the dark space. Velker's voice came through the enemy channels, angry and loud. Find the protector, capture him alive. Ravi's heart pounded. He was the protector now. The Tarjade, a large warship, separated from the fleet and headed straight for them. Its weapons powered up. It fired a beam that struck their hull, shaking the ship violently. Ravi gritted his teeth and searched for a weak spot. He remembered the old mining laser he had once fixed back on Mars. He asked Lena to activate it, and with Mira's help, aimed it at the warship's engine. Beam hit the engine core. Sparks flew. The warship lost power and spun out of control. It crashed into a nearby ice moon and exploded. The battle slowed. Some of the enemy ships pulled back. Confused by the humans' strange tactics, Mira took the chance to send a message to the Dravik people. She spoke calmly but firmly, showing herself and Ravi to all who could see. I am Mira, princess of the Dravik High House. This man, Ravi, is my protector. We call for peace. War is not the answer. We ask you to stop the fighting and listen. The message spread quickly. Some Dravik ships hesitated. Their pilots looked at each other, unsure what to do. Velker's command was not clear anymore. Ravi and Mira held their ground. They knew this battle was only the start. The galaxy was watching, and hope was alive. The battle in Saturn's rings had left scars on both sides. The Dravik fleet retreated, damaged and uncertain. Ravi and Mira's small team floated in the quiet aftermath, watching the stars. The fight was over for now, but the war was far from finished. Yet inside their ship, Mira looked tired but strong. Her silver blue skin still shimmered softly in the dim light. Ravi sat beside her, holding the crest mark on his hand. It was a symbol of their bond and the promise they had made. Do you think they will stop? Ravi asked quietly. Mira shook her head. Not yet. Velkor is proud. He will try again. But the message we sent has reached many. Some Dravik do not want endless war. They want change. Ravi smiled. Then we have hope. The crew gathered in the control room. Lena opened a channel to Earth's leaders. They had been listening closely. The alliance was forming slowly, but surely. People wanted peace. Samira spoke to the group. This is our chance. We must build trust. Show the galaxy that we can be better. Together Ravi looked out the window. The rings of Saturn spun silently, a reminder of what was at stake. He thought of Mars, of Earth, and all the places that needed protection. He stood and faced the team. I never thought I'd be here, protecting a princess from a galaxy far away. But I have learned something important. We don't need to be soldiers to make a difference. We just need to stand for what is right. The others nodded. There was courage in their eyes. A new purpose. Samira smiled softly. This is just the beginning. The road ahead will be hard. But with friends, with hope, we will build a new dawn outside. The stars shone brighter than before. The galaxy waited, and now it was ready to listen.